Hey y'all, it's X, and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing round 2 and 3 of our 3-round mock draft. And yeah, so one thing to quickly note before we jump in. I'm recording this in 2 separate settings, so I've already uploaded round 1 as you guys are seeing this. And since then, we had 2 games happen last night where the Lions actually lost to the Commanders in the playoffs. So now the draft order is a little bit different. I kept the picks the same. However, I mean, if I just waited another day and a half to do this, probably would have been a little bit better because I wouldn't have been doing this like mid-game, and I probably should have done this once we had the updated draft order, but it's whatever. I mean, if I really felt like being devious, I would have switched this Connerly pick to the Ravens, but it is what it is. Either way, we're going to be doing round 2 and 3 like I said. Remember, leave a like and sub if y'all messing with the content. Let's jump right in. So, with the Cleveland Browns here at pick 33, I do like this My Picks feature that they have now, so I can just go and see who we picked. So they got Abdul Carter at number 2. You could argue take Jalen Milroe as a quarterback. Jackson Dart's coming out, and I really like that. But I honestly think that Milroe might be a little bit too high for them. I feel like Kirk Cousins is just going to be their quarterback next year. So I think considering that, you could go like wide receiver here. But I do think offensive line is what I'm probably going to look to go. And I'm going to go with Ariante Arthur here. Could have been a first-round pick. He's been falling a little bit for a lot of people. And, I mean, I just need to look in a little bit. I need to look into why a little bit more, but it is what it is. Giants here at 34. I'm most likely going to be taking cornerback here because we got Shedeur Sanders in the first round. And I'm going to take Savon Ravel. I mean, this is a dream fit for me. I feel like he's going to be really, really nice next to Tay Banks. If all the medicals come back well, I mean, like I said, torn ACL doesn't really make me as nervous as it used to. It might be a little bit more stressful with an athletic player like a Savon Ravel, but again, like I said, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world for him. I think he's still going to be a fantastic player. Tennessee here at 35. They ended up going with Cam Ward in the first round. I probably want to get them an edge here in the second because that would have been where I would have gone if we didn't go edge in the first round. I'm not really sure what I would want to do here for them. Like Princely Umami-Ellen's interesting. Shamar Stewart, more of a defensive lineman for them, so I don't really agree with that. Other positions that you could look at for this team, you could go like wide receiver. Pair up somebody with Cam Ward if you think that they need that. Matt Golden is an interesting thought. Somebody who can stretch the field. Xavier Restrepo, pair up Cam Ward with his top target at Miami. I mean, I honestly like Restrepo a lot more than a lot of people. Like, I understand he's a slot receiver, but he's just a very solid slot receiver. So, not mad at that. You could definitely go offensive line for this team. I'm not against that at all, honestly. And this interior does need work. So honestly, I think I'm gonna mix up the pick here a little bit. I'm gonna go with Tyler Booker for them. Jacksonville here at 36. They got Will Johnson in the first round. This team definitely needs offensive tackle as well. We could look for Jonas Savania. He could definitely play all positions on the offensive line, which I haven't really brought up before. He's also, like, he can play center as well. So he can play both tackle spots, both guard spots, and center. Like, that's so valuable to have. Donovan Jackson's another thought if you want to improve that interior with what's his name as a free agent. And I do think that I'm going to go with Donovan Jackson. I think his flexibility as a potential tackle as well is going to be really, really interesting to see. Patriots here at 37. We got them Travis Hunter in the first round. You could definitely go offensive line here. I do really, really like the edge players here. I feel like Shamar Stewart's a good fit for this team because I think he's the type of player that they would look for. And I think I'm going to make that pick, honestly. I think he's very, very similar to a Keon White. I just want to mix it up today. They need edge help anyways, so it's not like we're not picking a position of need. Again, I fully support offensive line, and this is a very good edge class. You could definitely get a good edge player down the board, but I do like the offensive tackles down the board as well, maybe in round 3. Jets here at 38. You could definitely argue that they need a quarterback here. First round for them, we ended up going with, I believe it was Mason Graham, so we got their interior player. I want to get them a corner here. I believe, what's his name? What is his name? DJ Reed. I believe he's a free agent. I'm going to get Azariah Thomas here. He's one of my top corners in the class. Probably going to end up being cornerback 3 or 4 for me, depending on if Morrison comes out this year or not. I'm a really big Azariah Thomas fan. And I think he'd be really good in this system as well. Raiders here at 39. We got them Tedero McMillan in the first round. This is another destination where it's like, hey, maybe Brady wants his pick of the quarterbacks with a Jackson Dart. I'm honestly going to make that pick. I think Jackson Dart is probably I feel like Milroe has the higher upside, but I feel like if Brady is the one who has his hand in who this quarterback is, if they take a quarterback here, I feel like it would be Jackson Dart. I feel like that's somebody who Brady would probably relate to a little bit more. Saints here at pick 40. What do they need? They could definitely use edge. We got them Will Campbell in the first round. I do like the edge rushers who are here. Prince Umagallen's interesting. JT Tuimoloau is interesting. I've also thought about getting them an interior. Like Kenneth Grant being here is insane to me. I kind of like that pick. I'm thinking about him or waiting till round 3 and maybe grabbing a Dayon Walker. Those are the two picks that, in my mind, make the most sense. You could also go receiver for them. They do 100% need one. Matt Golden, again, somebody who's really, really interesting, could stretch the field. But I feel like you kind of have that with Rashid Shaheed if he comes back. Yeah, I feel like it's probably edge or interior. Would I rather have Kenneth Grant or one of these edge rushers? I think we're going to go with KG. But do I like the edge rushers down the board? Maybe not for this team. I feel like I'd like the interiors down the board for them a little bit more. I feel like I could just find a good run stopper later. So, I think we're going to take... I'm gonna take Kenneth Grant. I think that makes more sense. Great run stopper, great to pair with Bryan Bresee, who is not a 3-down interior at all. He's very much a very good pass rusher, and I think that combination, those two are going to be a good rotation together. The Bears have back-to-back picks here at 41 and 42, so we ended up getting the Mikael Williams, and I think I want to get them offensive line because we didn't get that before. So we're gonna grab Jonas Savaiinaea here. Again, flexibility to play literally anywhere on the offensive line, and I think they could just work to figure out what position suits him best and kind of just fit the rest of the line around that. And then pick 42 here. I would like to go guard maybe. I feel like it's a little bit high for Tate Ratledge, to be honest. I feel like it's high for Tate Ratledge and really any other guard here. I'm thinking of maybe Gray Zabel, but it might be a little bit too high for him. You could go Cameron Williams. I'm just not the biggest Cam Williams fan. I'm a bigger Jack Nelson fan at this point. So I would probably wait for that. We got them edge already. This is an interesting spot to think about running back, to be honest. We haven't had this is the second one go off the board yet. I'm all for replacing DeAndre Swift, no offense, but I just don't think he's that great. You could look for another receiver. I don't think you need that as a priority. I think your DB room is pretty solid. Linebackers are solid. We already got their edge rusher. Interior, I think, is fine enough to the point where I'd probably wait for that. The best pick here would be Cam Williams, because if he doesn't work out at tackle, you have Jonah. But I don't really want to deplete the tackle class. We're going to mix it up today. We're going to go running back and we're going to go Omarion Hampton. Let's have fun with it. Honestly, I think that Omarion Hampton is by far the second best running back in this class. I don't really think there's an argument for any, like maybe Caleb Johnson, but I just like Hampton a lot more. Still a big fan of Johnson, Judkins, Henderson, all those guys, Scadaboo. But I think Omarion Hampton is very dynamic. I think he would be a great pair with DeAndre Swift until you can cut him, but he could be a 3-down back, honestly. San Francisco here at 43. We got them KBJ in the first round. I think second round here, you definitely want to look for a cornerback. Darian Porter's interesting. Truth be told, I don't love the cornerbacks at this pick. Jamari Harris is an interesting pick for them. But I mean, other than that, I don't really love what's available, to be honest. Could go Jamari Harris, though. I might just be a little bit high. I think that's a little bit high for him. Darian Porter as well, but again, I don't really know the fit with that. You're really looking for a Charvarius Ward replacement, and I don't know who fits that mold. I don't really think safety is going to be the play for them. We could continue to just bulk up this offensive line, or we could go edge. I think edge is actually the pick, because we got them offensive line in the first round. Let's get them double Ohio State edge rushers here, JT Tuimoloau here in the second. I think that's a good pick. Cowboys here at 44. First round is Ashton Jeanty. Second round here, I think I want to go interior for them. I think I want to go TJ Sanders. I really like this fit. TJ Sanders, you guys know, one of my guys in this class. Very underrated as a run stopper because he's very, he's lighter. He's on the lighter side. He's like 6'6", 290. Does it say 6'4", 290? Sorry, I knew he was 290. I forgot the height, but either way, I think Dallas could actually make the most out of him. I'm a little bit concerned with how they develop interior linemen because they've just never really had a dominant one, but hopefully TJ Sanders can be the change that they need. Cold tier first round, we got them Tyler Warren, and honestly, I didn't want him to fall here, but it kind of just happened. Nicky Monori is going to be the pick here. I think he goes so much higher than this. I just don't really know what team to take him to. I feel like all these teams up here have like bigger priorities, to be honest. But I think Nicky Monori can 100% sneak into the first round. But it just with no trades, this is just how the board's going to fall. Falcons here at 46. They ended up going with Jalen Walker in the first round, so I feel like getting them a corner could be really helpful. Darian Porter can absolutely fly, and again, he's very raw, so it could be a little bit concerning, but I feel like I trust the Falcons to develop corners. So I think I'm going to go with Darian Porter for them. Cardinals here at 47. They definitely need an offensive tackle, somebody who can play right tackle. I think the risk of Cameron Williams is worth it. They developed Paris Johnson really well. I mean, coming out, he was already a good player, and we knew that. But hopefully you can just take the risk with Cam Williams and develop him to be that right tackle of the future for you. 48 here for the Miami Dolphins. We went with Malachi Starks in the first round. Definitely want to get them interior of some kind or tackle. Gray Zabel's an interesting pick here. Could go edge for them as well. That's an underrated need. I'd maybe go with like Kyle Kennard. Like I'd really just go with like who's the best athlete here. Man, Kamen Rucker is low. Wow. So there was Jordan Burch. Jordan Burch is another player that I think is going to be a very highly sought after player. Like Braden Swinson's interesting to this team. Does he go round 2? I feel like they just would rather have like the better athlete, so I don't love any of these picks here. We got them Starks already. I think we're just gonna go with Gray Zabel. I think that's probably the best pick. Might be a little bit high, but we're gonna go with Gray Zabel. Offensive tackle at an NDSU. And he could also play guard. I think that's where he's going to project to play, but I think he could honestly stay at tackle. He's a lot of high-end reps. I just saw Hail Mary Sports post on Twitter the other day, some really, really nice reps that he had, and I do think that he can stay at tackle. Pick 49 here for the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe we went KG. No, we didn't. We went to Talik Williams in the first round for them. So I think you could go with wide receiver. I think getting a Alec Aomanor could definitely be a good replacement for T. Higgins if he leaves. Could go tight end here. Harold Fanning is really, really interesting to this team, although I might want a better blocker. I think you could also just wait because I do like this tight end class down the board. Corner for them is interesting. Safety for them is interesting. I do like Xavier Watts, Kevin Winston, even Makuba. I feel like they need somebody to kind of help them not blow coverage as much. So I think I am going to go with Xavier Watts here and just continue to build their defense. Seattle here at pick 50, I'm not at all like against building this line, but I think with Jalen Milroe on the board, I feel like that's probably the play. Like a lot of these teams just didn't really need quarterback, but I think Seahawks is where you kind of start to say, okay, let's take that guy to develop, and we're going to go with Jalen Milroe to the Seahawks. 51 here for the Broncos. We're finally going to have another running back off the board. It's between Caleb Johnson and Quinshon Judkins for me. I'm going to go with Caleb Johnson because he is my RB3 in this class. I do think he fits the team a lot better. I think it's time that they let go of Javonte Williams. He just really hasn't performed for them whatsoever. And yeah, I mean, it's time to usher in a new era there. 52 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You could look for a running back here as well. I kind of want to get them Cam Skattebo. That would be really, really interesting. He seems like a guy who would be really good in that system. Judkins as well. Could go QB. They're probably mad Milroe's not on the board, but I feel like you'd probably just wait now. First round, we got them a corner. So I think a receiver here would be really nice. Matt Golden's interesting. I'm a huge Jalen Royals fan, so I want to make that pick. One of the best receivers after the catch, one of the fastest receivers in this class. I think he's really going to show out when he ends up testing. And I think his draft stock is going to get a lot higher than it is now. Pick 53 here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They went Jahad Campbell in the first round. I would honestly like to get them a receiver as well. Matt Golden's interesting. I do like how Jalen McMillan has played, so maybe you don't need a third receiver now. I think if you let go of Chris Godwin, Alec Aomaner could be somebody who you're interested in. I kind of want to get them a corner. I don't love the corners at this point of the board. Davison Ignosin, somebody who I started off the year liking a lot, but he's kind of fallen for me a lot. This is just not an amazing corner class. I'm going to go with Jamari Harris. This might be a little bit high for him. I do think his stock is going to rise quite a bit. Another guy with not a ton of experience at Iowa, but they've really made him into a solid player, and I think that he just has a lot of room to continue growing. Pick 54 here for the Green Bay Packers. Where did I go for them in the first round? I believe it was... Who did I give them? Jahdae Barron, I believe, right? Yeah, Jahdae Barron. So I think here, we got them corner. I think interior is interesting for them. I just don't think any of the players that are here are kind of worth the pick. You could go offensive line still. I don't know how much I love that. You could get them a receiver if you want to get them, like, okay, they need a solidified wide receiver one. Like a Jaden Higgins would be interesting for that role. Alec Aomaner, I've mentioned a couple times now. Like, just a very solid wide receiver one would be really, really helpful for this team, honestly. Or if you just want to get real creative with it, go Trevion Henderson to kind of be the backfield partner with Josh Jacobs. I think that's a really interesting idea. I don't know if I'm going to do it, though. But if I can't find anything else, I might fall back on that. Trey Harris kind of makes me nervous with injuries. Do they go receiver? I feel like they're just not going to, because I don't know if they're going to use him. They don't really need tight end. Offensive line, I just don't... I feel like I like the spot their offensive line is in. Maybe edge. Oh, you know what the pick is? Donovan Ezeuruaku. I'm blanking on their defensive coordinator's name. Come on, what is his name? Jeff Hafley, thank you. Former Boston College head coach. So Donovan Ezeuruaku, I love making this pick because he just gets to go back to play with his former coach, and he's had a lot of success under him before. Rashawn Gary, I don't know what happened to him, but he's just kind of bad now. Lucas Van Ness has been a rotational guy at best, so you need to continue to build that edge room. 55 for the Chargers. They ended up going Colston Loveland in the first round. We're going to get them a running back here. I think it's going to be Quinshon Judkins or Trevion Henderson. It's really interesting. Like, do you go Trevion Henderson because you think you trust J.K. Dobbins? Like, you can't really trust J.K. Dobbins' health. That's the thing. So if you want someone to replace him, you go Judkins. If you want somebody to pair with him and who could still be a starter long term, you go Trey Henderson. I think I'm going to go with that, honestly. 56 here for the Buffalo Bills. Sadly, no Donovan Ezeuruaku for them. I do want to get them an edge, though. We did go interior already, so I'm not, like, against, like, looking away from the D-line. I'd like to get them a corner. Like, Max Harrison isn't a bad fit for this team at all. I feel like Max Harrison would honestly be a good fit. I'm going to show Max Harrison some love. Panthers here at 57. We got them, what is his name? James Pierce in the first round. I want to get them a receiver who's really, really solid. Isaiah Bond is interesting. I'm surprised that he came out. I'm going to go Matt Golden, though, his teammate. Can also stretch the field and was a lot more reliable this season. I'm a little bit nervous with Isaiah Bond's injury, so I don't know if he's going to go round 2 for me. I feel like he wouldn't come out if he didn't know he was going round 2, but I don't know. It's really, we'll see with him. Texans here at 58. We got them Emeka Egbuka in the first round. So I want to go defensive interior here, and I'm going to go Omar Norman Lott. Very good pass rusher. He has, like, I think the big concern with him is how well is he going to play the run. I don't think it's that much of a concern as much as people think it is. I just want to see more of him. I think the reps that he played were really high value, but he didn't play a lot, and that's another big concern that he has. Ravens here at 59. Sadly, you missed out on tackle in the first round. And it looks like you might miss out again. Like, Marcus Bowe is interesting. I think I'm just going to wait for that. Do you keep him at tackle? He might project better as a guard. I think you're going to bring Ronnie Stanley back, so maybe we're actually looking for a Patrick McCarry replacement. In that case, I'm going to go with Tate Ratledge. Lions here at pick 60. We got them Jack Sawyer in the first round. Man, I can't believe that they lost that game. This defense, it's just injured. I kind of want to get them a corner, but I just don't really love who's available. They were really just getting burned. That's really what happened. It was really unfortunate to see. Shamar Turner's interesting. I think it's a little bit high for him. You could go receiver. I think getting them a big receiver like an Alec Aomaner is really, really interesting for this offense. 61 here for Washington. We got them Josh Connerly in the first round, I believe. So continue to protect Jaden Daniels, who is by far the best quarterback that they've had in franchise history already. Like, RG3 hadn't done anything before he got hurt, so, like, man, that's just tragic. But for this team, I do want to go wide receiver and just continue to get them more weapons. Maybe this is where I go Isaiah Bond. Kyron Elise will not be going at 79th overall, but he will be serving 79 years in prison. Man, Oronde Gadsden's listed as a receiver. He's a tight end. Savion Williams is interesting. Big contested catch guy. Ja'Cory Brooks is also interesting. Burner speed was also good size. I kind of want to go Jaden Higgins for this team, just to add an aspect of, like, more security. I think I'm going to do that. I think that's interesting. Buffalo here at 62. We just gave them Max Hairston, so I think we could go edge now. And I think Princely Umami-Ellen's going to be the pick. Just another technician. I trust him a lot already. Like, he's just been a very solid player across his entire career. I feel like another interesting pick here would be like a Tyler Barron. I like him a lot as well. But Princely definitely deserves to go in the second round. Eagles here at 63. We got them Mike Green in the first round. Harold Fannin would be fun, right? Not a great blocker. He's fine. Not a great blocker. So I might look elsewhere. They haven't paid Zach Bond yet, so, I mean, linebackers in play, we'll say that much. I do want to explore the option of, like, a tackle. Like, Emory Jones to this team, I just don't love. Marcus Bowe would be interesting. Could stay at tackle. I think with the right development, he could stay at tackle, but also could go play inside and play guard or center. I'm going to make a hot pick here, and we're going to go Marcus Bowe to the Eagles and just send him to Stoutland University and have him just be developed into whatever they see as best for him. Kansas City here at 64. I'm tempted to go with another burner here in Isaiah Bond. It's not going to happen. First round, who did I give them? Did I give them Wyatt Milam? That's who it was. So I feel like interior is interesting for them here. Wyatt Milam, so we got him to play tackle / guard. You could go tight end here. Like, Harold Fannin's interesting. Gunnar Helm is interesting. Safety is interesting for them as well. I feel like the talent of Kevin Winston is insane. I want to get them a corner, though. But who would that be? Like, Jabbar Muhammad might not be the worst for this team, but I just don't... Man, I just do not love the corners here. Like, I like Zy Alexander, but I like him more as a safety. Yeah, I think I might go with a safety here. But who is it going to be? It could be Lathan Ransom, but I don't love that fit with them. I'm between Makuba and Kevin Winston. Makuba could go play in the slot. I don't know who the Chiefs slot is, though. Because you have McDuffie on the outside. Maybe Makuba is the good pick. You guys are going to have to let me know who their slot player is, but I'm going to go with Andrew Makuba here. Giants here at pick 65, so we've now addressed corner and quarterback for them. We got them Savone Revel and Shadur Sanders. I think this is the part where I want to experiment with one of two things. Offensive tackles obviously need. I think we can wait it out for a year where I just feel better about who's available. Like, Jack Nelson would be great. I feel like I might just be higher on him than everybody else, sadly. So maybe that's not the pick. But I do want to experiment with somebody, another player who I really, really like. And that is going to be... Where is he? Is he listed at edge? He might be listed at edge. That is going to be Jordan Birch out of Oregon. I think he's a really good fit for this team. He's going to be a 3-4 defensive end for us, play Dexter Lawrence. But he's a really good athlete. He was an edge for Oregon, but he's like 6'5", 295. Of course, they don't have that listed, but I mean, 8.5 sacks, 11 TFLs in 2024. Very, very productive for Oregon. One of the big reasons that defense was solid enough to get them to where they were, right? Undefeated as well. But yeah, I'm really happy with that pick. Pick 66 here for Kansas City. I definitely want to go tight end for them. And I'm thinking of Jake Brenningstool, like a good blocker, good receiver as well. Like, I feel like he's just better than a Harold Fanning to this team. Like, Harold Fanning's going to be a great receiver, right? I do have questions as a blocker. Same thing with Mason Taylor. Gunnar Helm is interesting. But I think I'm going to go with Jake Brenningstool. I think I like that fit to them. Cleveland here at 67, so we got them Ariante Ursary and Abdul Carter. I think here's where you would maybe take a swing on a QB. I think Will Howard's going to be the pick for us here. Patriots here at 68, we got them Travis Hunter, and I believe we got them Jonah. Correct? Did we get them Jonah? No, we got them Shamar Stewart, so we actually haven't gone tackle for them yet. I do think this is where I'm going to stop the fall of Jack Nelson. I like his fit to the Patriots as well, but I really think he's going to be at least a round 3 pick, man. Like, I feel like he has to go on day 2. Pick 69 here for Jacksonville. We got them Will Johnson and Donovan Jackson. So I think for this team, wide receiver is definitely in play. Maybe Isaiah Bond to stretch the field a little bit. Man, Xavier Restrepo is just lasting so long, man. That's just so insane to me. Like, man, where did the Titans even pick? Did the Titans not have a 3rd round pick? Oh, well, that sucks, because my whole plan was to get him Restrepo and pair him with Cam Ward, but I guess that's not going to happen anymore. Man, maybe we just go with Restrepo here and just plan to replace Christian Kirk, because I don't really have a lot of faith in that. Ricky White here, I think, could be somebody. Savion Williams is a big contested catch guy, like I said. I'm going to go with a guy that I like. I'm going to go Xavier Restrepo. I think you can look to replace what is his name? Christian Kirk. I just said his name. Yeah, I think that this team, I don't even know what the Jags need. Like, do they need to rebuild? You're paying Trevor Lawrence like $60 million a year, so I don't know if that's an option. I don't know, man. Raiders here at 70 and 71. We have now gotten them Tedero McMillan and Jackson Dart. I think you could dip into the running back class again here. Quinshon Judkins being on the board is just like highway robbery, honestly. I feel like you're happy with guys like Sincere McCormick playing well. Still have like Dylan Laube if you see anything with him. But Quinshon Judkins could be either a guy who splits carries for this team or who could honestly take, like, he could be a 3-down back for you. I have faith in that, honestly. 71 here. Safety is an interesting thought. Kevin Winston's just here. Like, this is an insane haul to get. Quinshon Judkins, Kevin Winston, Jackson Dart, and Tedero McMillan. That's insane to me. So, good for the Raiders. Go off. They honestly deserve it, man. I feel bad for their GM who just got fired because he had a good offseason last year. Bears here at 72. Got them Mikael Williams. We've gotten them Jonah and Amarian Hampton. So we've gotten real interesting for them. I think we could strengthen the interior here. I think Deion Walker's interesting. I don't love him. I don't know. Deion Walker is an interesting player. I will say that much. I don't love the rest of this interior class. Like, maybe Alfred Collins, though. Actually, I think that's going to be the pick. We're going to go with Alfred Collins. Good run stopper. I think that's just going to be a good fit for this team as well. Panthers here at 73. We've gotten them James Pierce as well as Matthew Golden. I think this team could also use interior. I don't love Deion Walker as a fit here, though. I feel like he needs to go more to a 3-4 team and just kind of be a nose. I feel like Emory Jones is interesting if you want to try and develop him. Kyle Kennard just completely rebuild this edge room. I am not against that at all. I feel like Harold Fannin being on the board is crazy. Who's their tight end right now? Oh, Jatavian Sanders. So I feel like they're fine with that. Maybe they go safety. I just don't love any of these guys here. Like Lathan Ransom, I do love. Near the line of scrimmage and in the red zone, he's so good. That's an interesting pick. Maybe he's like your Jeremy Chin. Yeah, let's go with Lathan Renzo. Maybe he's like a Swiss Army knife like Jeremy Chin. Maybe not to the same extent because he's not the same athlete at all. But like that's a bad comp. That's a bad comp. But either way, kind of can play that kind of like sub package linebacker role. Saints here at 74. Who did we go with them? They're such a forgettable team. Sorry, Saints fans. Oh, Nola's gonna be so mad at me for that. My bad, gang. We got them Will Campbell and Kenneth Grant. They still need edge rusher. I think with Landon Jackson on the board, you definitely take him. I just don't know where to put him. I think he could go so much higher than this. I might not be the biggest Landon Jackson fan. He could 100% go higher, though. Like, I probably would have taken him. I don't even know. He could go round 2 for sure. I think he probably will. Pick 75 here for the 49ers. I would go Harold Fanning for them. I'm a big Harold Fanning fan. I don't want people to get it confused. It's just, I don't love his fit to teams who are just like, no, a blocking tight end is pretty useful for us. But we got them KBJ and JT Tuimoloau. I feel like wide receiver is an underrated need for them. I do think that's underrated. I do think guard, though, because you need to replace, what's his name? You need to replace Aaron Banks. So let's go with Emory Jones, man. We're going to develop him as a guard and see how that works out for them. So they double up on offensive line, go Kelvin Banks to play tackle, and Emory Jones to be the replacement guard. 76 here for the Cowboys. We've gone Ashton Genty and TJ Sanders. Definitely think this team needs wide receiver. I'm going to go with Isaiah Bond for them. Just an outside guy who can stretch the field and play next to CeeDee Lamb. Leave the slot to him. I think that's the big problem, is just you don't want to give them a slot receiver, which is why it's so hard to draft receiver for them, because there's a lot of good slot receivers in this class. Patriots here at 77. We've gotten them a pretty good haul as well. We just went Jack Nelson, Shamar Stewart, and Travis Hunter. I do think maybe interior. I feel like you just want to keep building the line, though. I just don't know if I love any of these guys on the offensive line. Like, I'm a big Jonah Monheim fan. Maybe Charles Grant. Anthony Belton. Johnny Cornelius is somebody who I'm pretty high on. I think he could honestly stay at tackle, but he could definitely go inside to guard. But for me, it's between Johnny Cornelius, Anthony Belton, or Charles Grant. I think I'm going to go with Johnny Cornelius, though. So again, we're just going to continue building this offensive line because it needs it. They need 2 tackles so that maybe you can move Onwenu back to guard and feel better about that, or Johnny Cornelius moves to guard. Cardinals here at 78. This is their 3rd pick, I believe. So we got them Nick Scorton and Cam Williams. And what else does this team need, man? They just need maybe a receiver. But what is the best fit? Ricky White to this team would be interesting, because Hail Mary Sports, he does say that Ricky White is mini Marvin Harrison. So it'd be pretty cool to have Marvin Harrison and Marvin Harrison again. But I don't think they need that role. But he's a good special teamer as well. Maybe interior for this team is interesting. I just don't like the fit of Deone Walker. I might just go with Shamar Turner because I like him a lot. I'm going to go with Shamar Turner for them. 79 here for Washington. We've gotten them Josh Conerly and who else? We got them Josh Conerly and Jaden Higgins, yeah. This might be where I put Harold Fanning. I want him to go, man. I really want him to go. But you know what? They need edge. We're going to go with Kyle Kennard. He could definitely go higher than this as well. I feel like this is like the floor for where he goes. He could have honestly gone round 2. I just wanted to mix up some of these picks a little bit. Pick 80 here for the Colts. We got them tight end and safety. I feel like linebacker is definitely a need. But I feel like edge is definitely a need. So I think for them, I'm going to go with Antoine Powell-Ryland's interesting. And I'm going to go with Braden Swinson. Braden Swinson is somebody that I know Hail Mary Sports likes a lot. He has him as like his number 3 player in the class. I'm not that high on him at all. But I do like the tape that he's put out. So I'll give him the respect of being a 3rd round pick for sure. Cincinnati here at 31. We got them Talik Williams and Xavier Watts. I'm going to go with Harold Fanning. Let's stop the fall. Get them a crazy offensive weapon for Joe Burrow. I'm very, very happy with that. All right, Seattle here at pick 52. I do think that what have I gotten them so far? Because I feel like I could get them a boundary corner. I just don't really know who the best fit for them is. I would probably want to see. Man, I gotta think about this because I feel like they're skiing. Like they already have what's his name? They have Spoon in the slot. They have Requilin on the outside, and they just don't have that other boundary guy because I feel like a lot of people think that Spoon is like that's your corner too, but no, he's 100% a slot corner. He's very very good at like the line of scrimmage. He's just somebody who I feel like you might need to just keep there in the slot for him to be the most effective, to be honest. So this is interesting. Maybe it's not corner here then. I just don't know if there's a guy who I'm comfortable taking this high. Like, I guess Dalen Everett is interesting, Jabbar Muhammad, but I just don't think that they're good fits to this team. Talked about edge rusher a little bit. Like, Ashton Jalote is interesting. I feel like they probably just want a better athlete. Tyler Barron, I feel like, is more on the... Maybe Tyler Barron isn't the worst of this team. Cayman Rucker is interesting. I just don't like him to this team specifically. Antoine Power Island, though. We're going to try it. We're going to go with Antoine Power Island. Somebody that I like a little bit. 83 here for the Steelers. We got them Trey Amos and Jalen Royals. Let's just go right back to the running back class here. Let's go Cam Scadaboo. Just a 3-down back to replace Najee Harris. I think that's probably the best thing that you can get in the third round here. 84 here for the Bucks. Where have I gone for them? We went Jahad Campbell and we went Jamari Harris. So I do think linebacker is interesting for the team. Levante David's obviously getting up there in age. You could also use receiver. I think this is probably where I stopped the fall of Trey Harris. Who's going to be the best? No, this is where I put Ricky White. Trey Harris, I'm just scared of injuries with him. How are the medicals going to come back for him? I definitely think he's a day 2 pick, but he's a really talented player. Just again, injuries have got to come back and look good for him. Broncos, we've gotten them. I know we got them Caleb Johnson. Who was our first round pick? Luther Burden. Nice. I mean, this defense is really talented. I would love to get offensive line for them, but I just don't really love the value of that. I do think interior defensive line is going to be good for them. And I think this is where I'm going to put Deion Walker. Sucks for the Chargers, because that was 100% my pick for the Chargers. Where have we gone for them? I know we went Trevion Henderson, Colson Loveland. I mean, I'd still like to go interior for them. It's just I don't really love the guys available. I do think Tyler Barron's interesting for this team. You could still go edge for them. But man, that sucks. Corner's probably a big need. Man, where would I go? I think Dalen Everett's interesting for them. 6'1", 195. I'm going to go Dalen Everett. Green Bay here at... What pick is this? 87. Where did we... I know we got them Jahdae Barron and Donovan Ezeuruaku. I think at this point, like, Trey Harris is just such a good pick for this team. I think the interior class is, like, depleted. I think I'm done taking interiors for the rest of this video. The running back idea is still there. Like, going somebody like a Jordan James would be interesting for them. Not really sure I'm going to do that, though. I feel like we've already filled their biggest needs besides interior, but you're just not going to take one here. So I feel like we could just have fun with the running backs. I think I'm going to go with Jordan James. Just pair somebody with Josh Jacobs, and I think he's going to be really impactful there. I know that they drafted Marshawn Lloyd, but he's just been injured, and you haven't seen him play at all. So I'm not really stressing about replacing him already. He just can't stay healthy, clearly. Jacksonville here at pick 88. We've gone Will Johnson, Donovan Jackson, and Xavier Restrepo so far. I feel like... What do they need? Probably continue building the offensive line. Like, we got them Donovan Jackson, but let's maybe get them another flex guy here. We're going to go Anthony Belton. 89 here for the Houston Texans. We've gone Emeka Egbuka and Omar Norman Lott. This team needs interior so desperately, so we're going to go Dylan Fairchild for them. 90 here for the Rams. There's some corners on the board, maybe. The Rams went Josh Simmons. I feel like they need a cornerback at this pick. I'm going to go Denzel Burke. I think this is like the perfect fit for a player like Denzel Burke. He played a lot better against Oregon in the rematch, which makes me really happy to see because he desperately needed to play well. Ravens here at 91. We've given them... I know we got them Ben Morrison in round 1, assuming that he comes out. Where do we go in round 2? We went Tate Ratledge. Yeah, okay. So wide receiver is interesting for this team. I'm going to go Trey Harris. I think this is a team that can afford to bank on the injuries with him. And if he isn't healthy, I think you're fine. But I think the value that he has is like, this is the type of receiver I've been looking for the Ravens to get for so long now that like, I just really want them to get a big body receiver who can make those contested catches on the outside for Lamar. Like, I just think that adds another element to this offense that they don't really have yet. 92 here for the Jets. Have we gotten them a cornerback yet? Because I would honestly just take the swing now. We went Mason Graham and Azariah Thomas. I think I'm going to take a swing at a quarterback. Would I go Ewers here? I just don't see Ewers as a day 2 pick, man. Like, I know the tools are there, but just... I feel like the problem with Ewers is he just didn't really seem to improve at all over the course of the year. And that's really just a red flag. So maybe we're going to skip out on that again. But Mason Graham, Azariah Thomas, maybe a safety here would be interesting. We haven't really gone with a billion of them. I'm going to go Malachi Moore. Captain of that Alabama defense, somebody that you know is going to play with a lot of passion. And I think that the Jets are going to appreciate that. 93 here for the Saints. Man, where do we go for them? Bull Campbell, we got Kenneth Grant, and we got them Landon Jackson, which is a really good value pick. So I feel like you could maybe go offensive like weapon here. I feel like somebody who can play like underneath. Like Tez Johnson's more of like somebody who's going to stretch the field for them. Savion Williams is a contested catch guy. That would be interesting. Jack Besh. Ja'Cory Brooks. Both guys who are pretty solid. Sam Brown, I know a lot of people like. I'm somewhat interested in Jack Besh here. I'm a little bit interested in Jack Besh. A tight end for them as well could be interesting. Ooh, Gunnar Helm is here. Let's go with Gunnar Helm. I think they need some more help in that tight end room. 94 here for the Cleveland Browns. We've gone a lot of places for them, haven't we? We got them Joel Carter, Arian Sierra, and Will Howard. I feel like a running back for them would be also pretty valuable. Not a big DJ Giddens guy. I like Rocket Sanders, but we'll see with him. Maybe Ollie Gordon. I think this is the place where I'm going to take a swing on Ollie Gordon. I want him to go day 2 so badly. I think he still has the talent to be just as good as we saw 2 years ago. It's just that Oklahoma State offensive line is so horrendous. And honestly, I don't even think Ollie would have come out this year unless he like heard solid news back from the NFL. 95 here for the Eagles. I haven't gotten them a tight end yet, correct? Because this is definitely going to be the pick where I grab them a tight end. Yeah, we went Mike Green. We went Marcus Bowe at the end of the second round. So I want to get them a tight end here. I want to get them a good blocker. Like Mitchell Evans would be really interesting. Who is a good blocker though? Like Mason Taylor, I would not get this team. Elijah Arroyo, Luke Lachey maybe. He is from Iowa. We're going to go Luke Lachey here. It might be a little bit of a stretch for some people. I think Luke Lachey is a really solid tight end. Also a solid blocker. I mean, he goes to Iowa. Iowa tight ends, you can never go wrong with an Iowa tight end. That's my defense. Kansas City here at 96. We got them. Did I give them Harold Fannin? No, I gave them Jake Brenningstool. So we got Wyatt Milum, Andrew Makuba, and Jake Brenningstool. I think I'm done with the interiors, man, so I don't think that's going to be a play. Receiver, could take another guy who can fly here in Tez Johnson. I just don't really think that we're going to do that for them. Savion Williams as a contested catch guy would be pretty interesting, to be honest, if anything. Just don't really know if that's their offense. They don't really throw a lot of like contested balls. They scheme a lot of guys open. I just don't think that there's anybody in the interior here who I'm just like in love with. I think Nosh Hotmucker, I don't even know how to say his name, but like round 3, like Demonte Capehart maybe. Yeah, let's go with DeMonte Capehart. That's the one. That's the last interior thing I'm gonna take. I've had him fall a lot. I showed him some like day 2 love a couple of mock drafts ago. I just think that the lack of reps, and he does have a very nice bull rush, but I am still a little bit concerned with the rest of his like pass rush moves. I just want to see more of him. He's another guy similar to Omar Norman Lott. I just want to see him play more. I think he needs more reps. 97 here for the Vikings. Where have we gone for them? I believe we went Walter Nolan, and that's it. Wow, we haven't seen them in round 2. So I'm going to go with a corner here. I'm going to go Davison Igbinosun. I like his fit to this team. I think he's probably going to fall to round 3 at this point because he had a very, very slow second half of the year where I liked him a lot at the beginning, but man, he just kind of fell off towards the end. He's just somebody who grabs a lot of penalties. That's kind of a concern. Like, you like that he plays aggressive. He doesn't really get burned too often, but man, those penalties, he just needs to be more disciplined. Could end up benefiting from moving to safety with his IQ, and obviously that would lead to less penalties if he's not in press coverage all the time, but I don't know. We'll see with him. Miami here at 98. We've gotten the Malachi Starks and Gray Zabel. Man, let's just grab someone who can fly. Let's grab Tess Johnson. Add more speed to this offense. You don't know if Tyreek Hill's about to leave. Let's just grab some more speed. 99 here for San Francisco. We've gone heavy offensive line, but we also got them JT, which is really cool. So we got them... Yeah, we got them JT, KBJ, and Emory Jones, which is pretty cool. I think a team like this could benefit from a tight end as well. I think I'm going to go Elijah Arroyo here. And pick 100 for the Rams. They're going to be the last pick of this draft. We just got them Denzel Burke. And we also got them Josh Simmons. So you have them 2 Ohio State guys already. Should we get them a third? Do we just reach all the way down the board to go grab... where is he? Is he not even listed at linebacker? Where is... He might be listed at safety, because that's technically where he played. Where's the Ohio State... what is his name? Unless he returned to school. You guys can tell me who I'm thinking of in the comments. Who is the linebacker who was a safety on Ohio State? I use him so many times in college football. What is his name? I think he has a brother on the team as well. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I think linebacker pick 100 here. I haven't taken any linebackers like at all. So I think Barrett Carter's interesting in round 3. And I think that's going to be the draft. So I think if I had to grade drafts here, like what teams went absolutely went off, I would probably say like the Browns had a really good draft. I mean, the teams that had a lot of picks had very, very good drafts. We'll say that much. I think the Patriots got a pretty good haul as well. I think the Niners had a good draft. I like the Giants draft. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. That was the first 3-round mock draft that we've done. I'm going to look to do some more, but again, just got to keep looking into some of these players when I have time. But yeah, remember to leave a like and sub if y'all mess with the content, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.